Live from over there. Jim Kellner, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm all right, just about. Whereabouts is over there this week?
Seattle this week.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm going to Phoenix next week, but shouldn't affect the show.
Cool. I must admit, you always seem to be between Seattle and Phoenix, which is that's a good place to be, I think.
Yeah, I wish I was in Phoenix more often.
Yeah. What is
More.
I know it's a very British thing to talk about temperature, but what is the temperature difference between Phoenix and Seattle?
Actually, the funny thing is, it's been pretty similar lately. They were having a cold spell down there. So yeah,
Oh.
not all that great. Although I will say during the daytime it was still sunny out. So even when it's cold, if it's sunny out, it's different.
Yeah. I don't mind being cold, but if it's sunny, the colours are brighter and everything is nicer.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
That's my opinion anyway.
Totally.
So yeah, we've got a full house of stuff for them today.
Full house.
Yeah. So it'll be a surprise for both of us. I have got I put in the list, which I thought was quite important. The first thing is the pre-conference workshops are out, and registration is open for them as well.
That's right.
So, exactly. And that link, which is a very strange looking link there, is
Very
for one
strange.
particular pre-conference workshop indeed, and that is for the Cowan and Saunders workshop. But there is other workshops available on there as well.
Not really. I think they were all canceled. So
they looked at it and they went,
yeah. Why bother?
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I'm excited about that. We're gonna do some great stuff in that workshop. Three days. Business in a box. Go home with everything you need for your business.
Yeah, which is exciting. Well, do you know what? I think that's what a lot of hypnotherapists need sometimes. There's a lot of the nice fluffy stuff, but the actual marketing, that type of stuff is definitely needed, which is really cool.
Yeah, and just that. It's so tough, when you're especially, I know a lot of hypnotherapists are out there and they're working their regular job too, and they got family commitments. I get it. It's tough to get your website up and pay for somebody to build a website. And we're doing it all for you. Go check out the link. Seriously, we're doing it all for you. Plus we're going to teach you about, some business stuff. We're also going to teach you about leadership, and decision making, and I
think a lot of it is down to that confidence in themselves and their business.
Yeah.
When you're new to any type of business and you are insecure,
right?
It makes a big difference on how you put yourself out there. You don't want to kind of draw attention to yourself, and there's so many kind of insecurities within your business, and that's what holds your business back as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
Cool. Next up, we've got. I'm just going in the host chat there as well. The NLP Summit is coming up, and they're looking for volunteers as well.
Yeah, last I looked, they were still looking for them. Now that's from a friend of ours, Selena Dorsey from Hypno Biz New York. They're now defunct, I guess, but so they're going to be down in Vegas, and if you could go and volunteer, be a good opportunity if you're broke.
Yeah, and that's a great way to get involved. If money is tight, but you still want to get involved in some of these conferences, it is a great way to go about it. Is that? And it's
and I was just going to say, that's the thing too. Like most conferences, not just hypnosis conferences, but most conferences in general do have volunteer opportunities. So, and some of them kind of suck. I volunteered for some years ago. It was like you worked all day long. But with most of the ones that we're connected with, it's like you work a half day and then you get to go enjoy the conference for the other half day.
Yeah. And it's not work if it's fun.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I do something for Jason Nobby Morgan, a Welsh hypnotist here. I do some live streaming for one of his events. Now, don't get me wrong, if they contacted me as a booker and said how much to do this, I'd be like, there was not enough money for me to get covered in mud and do that stuff. But because it's something that's fun, I enjoy it. I do it for nothing, which I need to figure out how Jason managed to do that, to be fair. I'm normally quite good at that.
Yeah, very good hypnotist.
Yeah. It's also great and we talk about the kind of speaker submission, but I was talking with a friend of mine and it was quite funny. They run a photo booth company and they're going down to London for a big exposition. It's like the biggest photo booth exposition in London.
Who knew there was such a thing?
Exactly.
Who knew?
And
photo.
as he was telling me, literally, I'm like, right, I've got the website up on my phone, and I'm looking through the website. I'm like, somewhere on this, they're going to be looking for speakers. And they're like, oh, we've got a keynote speaker that's this guy talking about marketing, and then other keynotes to be brought forward soon, or whatever it was. And I thought, great. Politics involved, there's egos involved, there's all of that.
Right.
It is like herding cats.
Yeah.
But it's working together for the greater good.
Yeah. Sadly, we have had some people that are refuse to work with other people, and unfortunately, I look at it kind of differently. As I would think, like if somebody I didn't like was going to be on this thing, I would want to make sure I was on it,
Exactly.
because I don't want them to get all the credit. But everybody has their own stuff. But yeah, I am really excited about this because the more that we elevate this profession in general, but stage hypnosis. I mean,
Yeah.
if somebody goes and sees a bad show, they're probably not going to just blame the hypnotist. They're going to say, "Ah, hypnosis shows suck." They're
Yeah.
not going to hire anybody. So
And that's
yeah.
and that's the thing. Hypnotherapy has come on so much because there is so many people doing so much stuff, and then new protocols, and then they've took that old protocol and they've changed a thing, and then now it's a different protocol, and now it's called something else.
Yeah.
Stage hypnotists, we do tend to be, all of us are out doing our own thing, recreating the wheel. And then we all kind of go, no, but I created that. No, I created that. And it's like, do you know what? If we're all kind of had a collective and we're working towards a common good, yes, you know what I mean? We are all in the same pool as stage hypnotists, but let's make it better. Let's make hypnosis great again.
Exactly. Exactly.
Should get a hat for that.
We'll
I
get
think
some
that
red
would work.
hats.
A hat.
Maybe we'll get purple hats. We'll get purple hats.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, that's a funny story. Is it me this week, the funny story?
You're the funny story this week, yeah. Unless, hey, if there's somebody out there, if you want to come on the show, we want you to come on the show. Believe me,
Absolutely.
we do. We want to steal your intellectual property. We want you to come on here and tell a funny story.
All the for it.
Exactly. A pro tip. If you want to share about your conference. In fact, we need to reach out to a couple of people about that. So
yes,
we want you. But Grant's going to take it away with a funny story.
Well, again, I think always with these funny stories, there is a lesson within them. And for me, it was coming up to the Christmas party season. Now, I'm not organized, but that has very rarely caught me off guard. Very rarely. But I remember there was this, maybe you can say it is a bit woo-woo as well. So I don't particularly like staff Christmas parties. Great money. I don't like buying Christmas presents, so that's why I do staff Christmas parties, because one balances out the other.
There you go.
And I remember setting off to this job, and like I'd heard all about it. It was a corporate Christmas party. They were a construction company. It was in this beautiful restaurant with a massive function room, but I really did not feel it. I've packed the car all day. I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I hate this time of year. I'm not feeling it. And this was all going through my mind the whole way. Anyway, despite not being organized, because I'm not organized, I have certain things in place. So I have a software program that looks after my contracts, that looks after my contacts, all of that lot. Because I've learned in the past, you've got to have that contract. So I've turned up at the venue, and I sat in the car, and I'm like, I was hoping they were going to ring me and cancel, but they didn't. I thought, you know what?
I'm always hoping.
Put on my happy face. Get out of the car. It's cold. Walked into the restaurant. There's nobody at reception. I thought, all right, I'll go through to the downstairs area. I'm here for the function. Oh, it's upstairs. Goes upstairs, and bear in mind, goes upstairs. So in my mind now, I'm like, I've got to carry my speakers
right
up the stairs.
It's even worse.
I've got upstairs, gone over to the bar, and there's a female manager. My contact was called John, I think it was. So I'm like, is John in? No, John's not working tonight. And I'm like, right, okay. And I'm your entertainment tonight. She's gone, which one? We've got two functions on. I went, brilliant. It's either the one downstairs or the one up here. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm asking you. And she's gone, all right, which party is it? I went, I don't know. I went, I'm the hypnotist. And she's gone, no, we've not got a hypnotist on tonight. I mean, I don't think they've booked entertainment. And I'm like, you, the venue, have booked me for this corporate Christmas party. She's like, no, I don't think we have. So I've gone, smug as anything, hand in the pocket, pulls out my A4 or whatever you guys call it, a piece of paper with my contract on, and I've gone, look, John, your manager, has booked me for there. And she's looked at it and she's gone, yeah, if you check the date, you'll see that's in 2 weeks' time, love. And it was just like, at that point, though, it was just a mad panic frenzy. At first, I'm like, I do apologize. Gets in the car, and then I'm like, where am I supposed to be? Like it's Christmas party season. It's the busiest time of the year. It was a Saturday night. I was supposed to be somewhere. But luckily, in my mind and my terrible organizational skills, I'd booked these two shows on the same day, if you know what I mean. So luckily, I wasn't anywhere. So yeah. So yeah, always make sure you check everything and check it again. But yeah, lesson to be learned.
Yeah. I've gotten a message from I've gotten like a message, can't remember, a text or something. Are you on your way? We're waiting. And I'm like, oh God, no, help me. Thankfully it wasn't it wasn't me. It was their mistake that time. But I mean, yeah, it's scary.
The lesson to be learned from this, and I'm not going into too many details, but the lessons to be learned from this, and this is why I have the software in place. I had that exact same thing happen to me once. They wanted me 1 year but couldn't have me, so I sent another hypnotist. The following year they went, we want you and we'll pay extra. So I'm like, music to my ears.
Sure.
You have got me.
What?
A friend of mine was going through some stuff, and I remember sat at the dinner table of this restaurant because there was a charity night going on, and I got a phone call and a message asking where I was. And it was at that point I knew I needed to be 6 hours away at this massive function where I wasn't. And they'd paid up front. And my phone, as if by magic, my phone at that moment died. The battery died. And I could not get to that person to answer the phone call for probably 3 hours after that. The following day, I've gone, listen, I will not make any excuses. That is my bad. That is my responsibility. I was at fault there. I'll give you the money back straight away. And they've gone, it's not as simple as that, Grant. We've hired AV, staging, sound, light. We are going to sue you. But I think it was about $9,500.
Oh my God.
And you're like, oh, God damn it.
Wow, that was
brutal.
Boy, that
brutal
is
what that was.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever never not made it to a gig in spectacular fashion.
And a costly mistake.
Costly mistake. Straight after that, it was like, let's get some software in place that prevents this from happening again.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You know, I finally, it was only when after I got married, my wife was always bugging me about where I'm going to be and stuff. Is I have a calendar now with all the dates. And for the longest time, I didn't have like a central location. It was like, I'd have to go look through. I've got something in June or what? And it made it so much easier now.
Yeah. Weirdly, although I have the software in place that lets me know where everything is, I only know where I am this week. I don't worry about next, unless it's international. I don't worry about next week until next week. My focus this week is on my gigs this week, my meetings this week, and my stuff this week. Because otherwise, my little head would just fall off. I have a tendency to go, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Pro tip.
Well, I mean, there was a pro tip right there. Get yourself some software in place, folks. So I've got a pro tip, and it's a lot of these things are things that I wish I would have done. And this one, I'll tell you. So I've hired a few assistants, and they haven't always worked out. And so, and there's been about 4 or 5, and they haven't always worked out. And I just want to tell you guys. So, and I've got two approaches, and I finally found somebody. I think I've got somebody who's. I finally reached out to a friend who has got a VA. Said yes, she's great. You can use one of her team or something. Anyway, so she sounds great. We're gonna see. But I was thinking, I had a student one time in my class say, well, because I was talking about, I just gotten an assistant at that time. I was really excited, kind of like I am right now, only to be disappointed again. But anyway, and she said, well, I'm not there yet. I don't need an assistant yet. And it occurred to me that I was like, aren't you though? I mean, are you really not there yet? And maybe you're not. But I think that you should think about getting an assistant before you think you need an assistant. Yeah. Because I'll tell you why. Because, well, number one, if you get a detail-oriented one, they're going to update you. You won't miss a gig. Because I'm not detail-oriented either. I'm like, whatever. But the other thing is the sooner that you can stop doing I don't want to call them menial tasks, but the tasks that you don't necessarily have to do, the sooner you're going to start being able to create more quality content, write more books, make more videos, work on your show. I mean, really, I wish I would, the thing is you get frustrated every time you're like, I'm not going to find anybody. But this is what businesses go through. Yeah. Think about Walmart, Target. I mean, they're hiring people all the time. And I remember I did talk to a stage hypnotist once, And I was talking about an assistant. He goes, "Well, I've tried it a couple of times, and it was commission only, and it just didn't work, and so I gave up." And I was like, "Well, number one, commission only, that's gonna be tough,
Yeah.
and if you just give up, you're just never gonna be able to get to that next level.
But if you get the
You only
right
have
one,
so far. If you get the right one,
yeah.
it'll catapult you, and you got to just keep trying, keep trying."
Sometimes you've just got to. I'm trialing someone in the office for a couple of days a week, which that's how I always do that with anyone that's in the office. It's like they start on a casual basis, and then you give them a little bit more control, a little bit
Right.
more control, a little bit more control until. And I know most of these people know more than what I know. That's why they do what they do. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because they know
Yeah.
more than me.
You want them to, yeah.
But yeah, it's that whole, $10 task, $100 tasks, $1,000 tasks.
Totally, yeah.
We should be concentrating on $1,000 tasks.
Yeah.
The $10 and the $100 tasks, someone
Yeah.
else can do that. And
Yeah.
it's okay for someone to mess up a $10 task.
You know, that's a really good point. I'm glad you said that, because I was already thinking about, well, they're probably gonna screw some stuff up, but that's fine. The people
Yeah.
screw up.
Yeah.
I screw up. It's really super important that we do that. And I'll tell you, and I'm glad you made that point, Grant, because that's what I actually heard from Victoria Gallagher. And this is one of the mistakes I make, is I'm just like, look, this is all the stuff I have to do. Pick something, and I just throw it at them. So
Yeah.
to their defense, I think it's difficult to kind of go, what do I do? And I like this idea, and that's actually what I'm going to do this time. Is I've told her, I said, what I really need somebody to do is take over the podcast scheduling. We got 2 podcasts now. I need somebody to schedule those and find guests and stuff, and just alleviate one little problem that I'm having, one little pain point at a time. And if she does well with that, we can add more tasks.
Yeah. Maybe there should be a VA to find a good VA.
That was my hope before in the past. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, just like anything, we just keep trying.
What you've got to do, that's what
Should have warned you. Should have warned you about this one.
You should have. That was poker face at all. It's like just throw you under the bus. Yeah, but do you know what? It's one of those things. It's one of those things that, it is persistence. It is trying new things. It's trying something, and then when it doesn't work, not just kind of going, oh well, it mustn't work for anybody, because it does work for some people.
It does
So
work,
you just got to keep going, because you find a good one.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing is too, you think about, well, it's going to take me all this time to train them, and believe me, I've had to train people over and over again. But again, that's just part of the deal. I mean, unless you do that, you're just never going to be able. You only have so much time in a day.
Yeah.
And so, you just got to keep plugging away at it, really. And if this one doesn't work out, I'm gonna be after it like immediately. I'm not going to wait around again.
One of the things I put together earlier last year, which really helped me, is a workbook. What do I need to do on a day-to-day basis, month-to-month basis, in order for my business to run? And if I was to drop down dead, I could give that book to somebody and they could still do that. Now, to be fair, booking me as a hypnotist if I drop down dead is,
right.
There's a fault to that as such.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah, I think it's called the Dead Dad Test. And it's, will your business run if you're not there? So, how can I automate bookings? How can I do this? How can I automate the marketing? Rather, as a lot of people do with marketing, they just kind of go, oh, I need to put a post on Facebook. How can I make sure it's all following a certain process? And so I've got that workbook, which my plan with that is, when I find a good virtual assistant, that's their workbook. So it's like, that's what needs to be done. And once they can get through that, then let their talent shine.
Yeah.
We're dropping
brilliant.
some good advice here tonight.
I love that. I've wanted to do that, but I've just never sat down and done the workbook. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you can't sell your business unless you have a workbook, right?
Exactly.
So you get to a point where you could sell it. Yeah.
So many people have the stress of being self-employed but all they've got is a very stressful job.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
And
You
it's
just
like,
yeah.
why have all that stress? If you have all that stress and have a job, then just go get a job and don't be stressed.
Yeah.
You know, run a business. And this is the thing I believe with a lot of hypnotherapists. They're not running a business. They are a hypnotherapist.
Exactly. Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm impressed. That's fantastic. You did that.
Underneath all of this, it takes a lot of work to make this look like a disorganized mess. Oh, awesome. Something that wasn't in the schedule, but I thought I would give it a mention as well, and that is a hypnosis training in Blackpool on the 16th of February if you're in the UK. This is a 4-hour, it's not mine, it's a 4-hour stage hypnosis training as part of the Blackpool Magic Convention. So perfect timing for the organisers of this. It is guaranteed to be an eye-opener with lots of great information. So yeah, that is Alex Smith is running that training course in Blackpool.
Oh.
Do you know what? It should be spot on. I think I might pop along to that as well myself, actually.
He's been at it for a long time, that's for sure.
Do you know what? It is the, I was going to say the marmalade. It's not marmalade, it's Marmite. Do you guys have Marmite?
No.
Marmite was, they actually run a campaign with hypnosis in the UK, actually. Marmite is a weird thing that you put on toast. It's like a yeasty brownie thing. Some people love it. Some people hate it. So it's always called the Marmite of something. So if something is, yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Because of that, they did a campaign with some stage hypnotists a few years ago where they actually had a hypnosis campaign running where they were getting people to be hypnotized into liking Marmite, of which Alex was involved in that, I believe, as well.
Excellent.
Alex and a guy called Rory Z.
Ah, I've heard of Rory.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe that that Jonathan is going to be on the Performing Hypnosis Summit.
Awesome. I do believe he, he mentioned me that he'd put in an application for it. So that'd be cool. Again, controversial character, so much knowledge. And a lot of knowledge, especially on the UK side of things as well, especially when it comes to the laws, the UK Hypnotism Act and all of that stuff. So yeah.
Excellent.
Cool.
Good stuff.
It's going to be good fun. Have you got a different background? You've got a different background, haven't you?
I do. I've moved into my luxury apartment with the granite wall. Yeah.
Granite wall. Keeps the heat in.
It does. It does.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for us. Yeah. Looking forward to next week's show. It's nice because we're coming into the season now where we've got conferences coming up, we've got workshops coming up, trainings coming up, all sorts of stuff is coming out of the woodwork as such. When's your seminar?
Oh, next weekend, next Saturday.
Cool.
And then Anthony and I from the Pacific Northwest Conference, we're going to do another conference here in the Seattle area. So I'm
awesome.
just going to go crazy with conferences or seminars.
Awesome. Yeah.
Just got to start doing it. Start doing it, guys. Stop waiting. Just do it.
Yeah. Awesome. Just do it. That should be the tagline for the for something.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Nobody's used that before. Huh.
Never. Awesome, guys. Thank you for joining us this week. Do spread the word if you know any hypnotists that would benefit from watching this show. Maybe they would benefit from medical advice too.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
And please do get a hold of us.
If you've got some hypnosis news, if you've got a pro tip or a conference or a training or a workshop or anything, then get in touch with us and we'll get you on the show as well.
Absolutely. Take care, everybody.
Take care.